This and all episodes of the podcast have been brought to you by our generous patrons over at Patreon, the DayZ podcast. If you're interested in finding out more about how you can support the show each week, then please click the link in the description down below to find out more information about Patreon, the DayZ podcast. Thank you for your support. And speaking of support, a big shout out to our $10 supporter, Scale Speeder Gaming. Check him out on YouTube, folks. He does some great content. And a huge thank you to our $25 supporter, Jake Snow. Your support means a lot. Thank you guys both so very, very much. G'day, folks, and welcome to episode 48 of the podcast. I'm joined today by Marks. Hopefully, Ike and Val will join us later. They were meant to be there for the scheduled Saturday-Sunday show, but due to this old guy sleeping in, that didn't go ahead. So we've hurried up and managed to reschedule it because we want to try and keep doing one every week and pumping them out for everyone. But wow, what a week it's been, Marks.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. The last few days, anyway, have been kind of crazy. But
oh yeah, the last
call it drama. Guess would be drama, wouldn't it?
The last couple of days have been absolutely insane. And Ike has just joined us. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, how are you, sir?
I am good, mate. I am good. It's kind of a bit of a blessing. We were just saying, Ike, that so much has happened in the last couple of days in the DayZ community that it's almost a blessing to be able to wait a couple of days and we can now talk about everything that's been happening of late.
Yeah, it's always good to catch up with friends, share some common interests.
Yes. And how have you been, mate? How have you been?
I have been busy with work.
Really?
My story. Yeah. With my job, I actually I was considered by my company. I work in the healthcare industry, and I was considered essential. So things never stopped for me. I was still working 6, sometimes 7 days a week.
Mate, it was weird, the classification of essential workers. My partner manages shopping centres, like the centre management office in a mall. She's the manager. Well, she's actually moved up a bit higher now, but during the whole pandemic, she was an essential worker. It was weird driving her to work and the roads were completely bare, but she still had to go to work, even during the height of it back in February, March last year. It was insane.
Yeah, it seems a lot. And also, I live in Atlanta, which, has its associations with The Walking Dead. So
Yep.
Got a little bit of that vibe.
That would have been pretty cool. But I know what you mean, mate. When we were driving, I'm a weird guy, mate. I'm a weird guy. I actually kind of missed it.
You.
I actually kind of missed it. I loved having the highway to myself and the motorways to myself and just being able to just drive and yeah.
Speaking of, and this is totally unrelated to anything DayZ, but speaking of having the roads to yourself, are you familiar with the concept of a cannonball run?
Yes. Lovely movie. Great movie. Saw that when I was a lot younger.
So it's a real thing.
Yep.
And it's very illegal here in the US. But someone took advantage of the pandemic to set a record. And I think they did it like coast to coast in like 23 hours. They used an Audi A8. And they put a huge marine gas tank in the trunk, and they had I think like 35 watchers.
Yep.
That would go ahead of them, and I think it averaged out to like 108 miles per hour. It was insane, but they have proof of it. I haven't seen the proof. That's a big part of it, but a lot of insiders have said, yeah, it was the real deal. I thought that was crazy.
There's a YouTube channel out there, car channel called VinWiki, and they have people on who have done that coast to coast thing you've done before, and the owner of the channel and stuff has actually done it himself. He broke the world record at one stage for it, but it was beaten. He'd done this like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. Has been beaten since. I think they had the person on or someone who was to do with the one during the pandemic on as well, and describing how they done it, like the entire thing. It's pretty cool.
Was it the one I was mentioning, the Audi?
I can't remember, but I think there was a couple of attempts and stuff, but I don't think all of them like succeeded.
I do know that here I'm a racing fan and a car head, gearhead. I think you call them petrol heads across the
rev
pond,
heads.
but
Rev heads, we call them here in Australia.
And Mighty Car Mods is one of my favorite shows too. If you don't know them, they're from Australia.
Yep, never heard of it, but yeah.
No, but here in Georgia, they just actually recently signed into law because street racing is a problem.
Oh yeah.
And now it's become to the point where it can, after your third violation, it becomes a felony, which is a big deal. So I'm actually pretty happy about that because I preach against street racing. It's incredibly dangerous.
Oh damn! We had just recently here in Australia, mate, some lads doing circle work, and a tire came off the car and hit a young child, and the parents were just walking with their son down the road or something, and the tire came off and smacked into this kid and hospitalised him. I don't know whether he ended up dying from the injuries, but it was bad. We had the same problems here, mate. You know, the rev heads and all the rest of it, and
you can have fun safely. You don't have to do it on public streets, and that's exactly why I get cars that would try to race me from stoplights all the time, and I just don't do it because I've seen even semi-pro drivers who lose control on isolated tracks and end up going over curbs.
Yep.
And these are guys who've been driving, their entire lives on tracks and doing time trials, and it's just way too easy to lose control. People don't understand.
Zombie Lee's just said in chat, cars are awesome if they're doing it safely. Everything is awesome if you're safe with it. And there's responsible places to that's an argument. You could say they need to put more tracks available for people to go and do this sort of stuff, but yeah. Anyway, we digress.
Yeah.
So I guess this kind of explains your big charity event you did last year, mate, the Tolga Hill charity climb.
I guess it does lead into that.
Combines a bit of your love of DayZ and cars all in the same thing. Did you follow that at all? Did you, Marks?
No, it's the first time I'm hearing about it.
Oh, mate, it was fucking amazing. Ike he put a prize up as well, but it was all for charity. That basically eliminated the big worry whenever you do an event. And Ike and I have chatted about this, is people cheating. But by doing it for charity, fucking cheaters aren't going to care about that. They want the money themselves. So that was a stroke of brilliance, mate. And God, it made for some good content.
Yeah, it was fun. And there were some people who, they tried so many times because I'd set up a server where I turned off everything spawning except a bunch of cars on the hour. It would reset to where there was just a ton of cars available, and so it performed incredibly well for driving. And I know a couple of guys who they've spent hours making those attempts and trying every tiny thing they could to take off, fractions of a second. That track, that pathway up is actually very good for that.
It was.
As soon as I spotted it, I knew that it was well designed. For one, it was challenging, and number two, it was short enough to keep people's attention and to allow you to try many times. If you try to do something that's going to require someone to keep their attention, for an hour or so, that's a little more problematic. That requires a different mindset, I think.
I still loved it, mate. I thought it was fucking amazing. And my personal favorite was Uncooper's video. God, he did a good job editing that. I'm glad you gave him a special award for that one.
Yeah, after I saw that, I knew I had to do something for him because he had obviously put time into it.
He does, mate. We talked about him last week. He had a bit of a rant on Twitter, but that guy lives and breathes and bleeds DayZ. There are very few people, myself included, in Australia who can hold a candle to how much that guy loves his DayZ. I have so much respect for him. I first became aware of him years ago when he started making videos on a server I was involved in, Aussie Convicts. And just the quality of his stuff. It's a crying shame to me that he's never become bigger. But yeah, that video and all the little clips from all the other people doing their best, and pretty much it was the Gunter was the go-to vehicle for everyone.
That one was a surprise for me. I was not aware that the Gunter had improved. So I started out trying the Ada because I was like, that's the only one that's going to make it up this hill.
Yep.
And I was quickly shown after a couple of guys. I was like, I thought I put in a good time, and then when they were finishing 20 seconds ahead of me, I was like, oh man,
the Gunter is the go-to car, mate. It's the fastest car in the game. It's been like that for a while. Just not a lot of people realize it. He's got the best handling. The Saka is just meh. What's the other big one? I can't remember its name.
A sedan.
The big sedan.
Yeah.
But it's terrible. It handles like a tank. It is just one of the only bonus it has is its inventory size is massive. But the Gunter is your go-to vehicle. Every time you should always try and get a Gunter. They're just fast. They handle well, except for when they go off road. That's where the Ada takes over again. Olga.
So
it's the Olga. The Olga's the one.
Olga, yeah, that's right. Another one that another place I've had fun on is Deer Isle. When I first saw the racetrack, and I'm assuming you've seen it, been to that location.
No, I've been. Wow. I'm waiting for them to say Deer Isle is done, and then I'm going to immerse myself in it. I don't want to ruin it.
Well, I hope this isn't a spoiler for anyone.
No, I know of stuff.
There's a racetrack there, and someone is at least observant, if not a racing fan, because they've done an incredible job with laying it out. They have curbs and everything.
Apparently, it's really I've heard good. Zombie Lee's just said this in chat. Apparently, it's a rescale of a track called Hockenheim.
Okay. I know the name of the track. I don't know where it is.
So it's based on an actual track, so that is probably explained. And, mate, Benny or John McLean, the guy who does that map, you can watch him on stream. He spends hours just being so finicky. The level of detail he puts into that map, I watch him from time to time. He just sits there listening to music and just editing his map. It's an exact replica.
I'm only bringing up that part of the map because of the relation to cars and racing and whatnot, but the rest of the map is absolutely phenomenal. The only complaint I would have is someone who plays a more survival style is that there seems to be a military base around every corner now, as compared to a year ago when it was far more desolate.
Yep.
Now
I was playing on Zero's DRL server there 2 days ago. And even though there is like a military base every once in a while, most of the ones where you spawn kind of close to are not really going to have many guns. I noticed. And I don't know if it's just maybe I got bad luck and there just wasn't anything there, but you usually have to go in a bit before you'll get any sort of decent weapon. So it seems kind of balanced, but
Yeah, maybe that's a way to reconcile the
different tiers of loot
playing. Yeah, but I remember playing on it a year and a half ago. And there was nothing on it, and there was a few houses, but the landscape was still very well developed at that point. It's just there weren't a lot of urban areas and houses, things like that, but it was still a ton of fun.
No, he's done an amazing job with Deer Isle. Deer Isle is just going to be phenomenal, and the addition of a racing track. Yeah, it's little things like that give these custom maps their bit of uniqueness. So many servers that are built around a community. It gives them something that can be a go-to event for them. Maybe a biannual or a triannual or a quarterly racing track, and everyone's got to make sure they've got their Gunter ready to go, and they can enter in and maybe win a cool prize in game or whatever. And little things like that really do help grow a community.
Yeah, and I thought about setting up a server and trying some event with that, but one of the things I do want to do is give console players an opportunity to participate.
Yep.
And that makes it a little more difficult.
Well, that's what was good about your last Toggle one. Even console could do that.
Yeah, and it would have been more difficult for them because they couldn't jump on a server like mine, which was just, people could try over and over and over again all day on servers like that. But at least there was an opportunity for it. But not so much with Deer Isle. But yeah, that the work that was put into that racetrack just sings to me. And I've been around it quite a few times, and just playing, and it's a ton of fun. So maybe I'll set up a server where that's all you do is just spawn in cars, and you spawn there, and you just haul ass around some corners.
So what about this alphabet challenge of yours, mate?
That is something I put out like 2 years ago, and it's something that no one has ever taken up. No one has ever done it, to my knowledge, not even myself. And it's something that I think requires a bit of intimate knowledge about the entirety of DayZ's loot economy to make sure that you plan. It can't be just chaotic. So I think it's just simply, it's not, I don't know that it's a good idea. It's certainly not brilliant. It's just different. I do think that.
And you and I were talking about this, mate, and it's in little things like this can help people. Like you look at someone like the Running Man as an example. He's a guy who has played, lived, breathed DayZ for years. And I think one of the secrets to him not getting bored with it is he does things himself in game. Like, I've seen him do challenges where he will only survive off of what he gets off infected that he kills. He can't eat food he finds and all the rest of it, only what comes off of infected. And little things like that just help mix it up. And I think you're onto a winner here, mate. And I think if we can get the word out about it, yeah.
Yeah, and I would like to I'd like to put some more thought into it and make how it would work, especially since I like to do a lot of charitable stuff.
So explain the concept of what people have got to do first. So those watching in chat, in mine and Mark's streams, know what the alphabet challenge is.
So what you have to do is you can only pick up loot in alphabetical order. It doesn't have to be letter after letter sequentially. It just has to be a piece of loot cannot be alphabetically before the previous piece of loot you picked up. That means you can pick up an AK and then an apple, but you can't pick up say an SVD and then an apple. And I haven't entirely determined about how numbers would work. I think that wouldn't really matter. That would be kind of a wild card because all the numbers, as far as I know, are ammunition anyway. But what my thinking was is it would require, like I was saying, an intimate knowledge of the loot throughout the entirety of DayZ. And there are also some details like variants wouldn't have any impact on it. So if you had a red raincoat, it's just raincoat. It's just an R. So you don't have to worry about blue raincoat. It's still R because it's raincoat. Things like that. So I think it's something that would mean that people starve to death a lot.
Yeah.
Unless you just pack up on apples. That's where it would start. Maybe you could do it backwards. Maybe that's another option too, that where you decide to go backwards from Z to A instead of A to Z, something like that.
But, see, there's so many things that we need to get worked out. Like, I see a goat. I'm at G. I kill the goat. I chop the goat up. But now I've got what do they call goat steaks?
Yeah.
They've got a special name as well. Am I allowed to pick them up, or does that still come from the actual goat I picked up? And what about the leather from the goat? If I picked up a bag of lime to try and make venison, they call it venison. Yeah, it's just.
But I think those are variants, right? Do they not call them steak? And now you can't. Another problem too is you can't use the loot economy XML files if anyone is thinking about that, because they're using old names for stuff. They're not necessarily the strings that are used in game. So it might say there
you go, Chamber Senator Chevon. Chevon is the name for goat steaks.
Something like that. Yeah. So well, what I'm saying is that, like in the XML files, if you were thinking about trying it, to use that, it would say, it would still say AKM in the files where it says now whatever it is.
KAM.
Does it say AAM?
KAM is what they call it now.
KAM? Yeah. See, I don't even know. So I'm sure there's somewhere there's a collection of all those strings, all that loot to look through that would allow someone to go through and set those things up.
But yeah,
But
it's all
I
those
don't think
little
it's something-
funnies that you've got to try and work out to, because that would be a big one. Someone's got themselves a CR75 pistol, managed to find which had a mag in it, and then they kill themselves a goat, and then they get stakes which are chevons, chevon stake, I think is what they're called in game. Can they pick those up because they're from the goat they killed? But
maybe it could be something where you can reset, meaning that if you have things after that letter, you can drop all of that loot and go all the way back and pick up that was it Chevon?
Chevon.
So you would reset back to C at that point, but you wouldn't be able to pick up the things you dropped, like the any weapons, things like that were after that letter.
Yeah,
that could work. Yeah.
And that's the chamber senators here. So he would be one of those people who would be a great resource for resolving those issues.
Yes, he would be. And I get the feeling this is the sort of thing that would appeal to his mindset as well, because he's just such a fountain of knowledge that I think he would be more than happy to help you work out the rules for this.
Yeah, but I think one of the shortcomings of it, the idea is that it like you were just demonstrating, it becomes incredibly complicated very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
At least complicated in the sense of a video game, and it ends up with a lot of questions. And if any money is involved, it's going to be limited to almost entirely charity, so hopefully no one would complain about it. But if there is money involved, then I think that I need to be a little more refined with.
Well, as you saw with the Tolga Hill one, people were arguing over people cutting corners and stuff like that. And
yeah, and I didn't think about that, but it was good in the end that people they weren't that upset about it.
No.
Right? So it wasn't that big of a deal in the end. I think it would have been a much bigger deal had I just given cash to people.
Yes.
Then I would have just I think I would have been in trouble at that point. But
I like that you're doing it for charity, mate.
I
like that you're doing it for charity because it removes a lot of the sheep station mentality. We're playing for sheep stations. This is money in my pocket and someone stole it. No, it's all going to a charity. It might not have been the charity you wanted, but it's going to a charity. So it's all designed to have fun, and so much respect for you, mate, for doing this. Just bringing a bit of joy and love into the community.
Well, I don't know. I will admit I've been generous my entire life, and it's something ingrained into me by my parents.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up incredibly poor, so I'm in a position now where I can help other people, and these are fun ways of doing it.
You're a good man, mate. You're a good man. Need more people like you.
Hug me!
You sure you want a hug from this space? Oh, God. Okay. So we will move on to the first topic, and this is the 1.11 update. And you did a video on that, Marks.
Yeah, I did.
What did you think of the update, Marks?
It was good. I played the first 2 days of it and played on official servers just to kind of see what it was like.
Yep.
I didn't have any major bugs or anything like that. Like no new ones. Ran well. The fixes they done on zombies seemed to do well as well. It all seemed pretty good. Which was, it was good. At least it didn't break everything like sometimes, like it did in 1.08 or whatnot.
What do you think of it? I actually like the update. There were a lot of people talking about comments about how little was actually added, but we've been saying for some time now that they really needed to do some polish of the game, and I think it was a fucking amazing update myself. What are your thoughts on it, Mike? Mike's muted. No, he must have something going on in the background. You don't know whether you know Ike, but you're muted. But yeah, they surprised us with the Asval out of nowhere. A lot of people are saying, was it needed? You know, we have the VSS. But personally, I like it. You know, it's a Russian weapon that can take Western scopes, and yeah,
it's a nice change. It's very rare, which is a bit annoying, but you know, it's probably good that's rare because it does like one tap plate or plate carriers and such. So it's going to be a very good gun when a lot of people start getting used to it and using it a bit more. So it'll be an interesting one to PvP against.
Yeah. Apparently, I had audio issue again from streaming my screen. I'm just going to try something because I can share my screen but at a lower resolution. Go 720, 30 frames. Okay, so I'm sharing it again now, guys. Can boy, to your pork. Is my audio better now? Perfect, good. So share in 720 and 30 frames, not in 1080 with 60. Good old Aussie internet. Oh God, gotta love it.
You're also streaming in Discord too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, what did you think of the update, Ike?
I'm sorry, you're getting an echo from me now?
Yeah, there's an echo.
Yeah, whenever I mute for some reason, it starts echoing. Shouldn't be echoing now, hopefully not. But no, I always look forward to updates. There are, I don't know. It only gets better from here on out, is the way I look at it. I'm incredibly forgiving of issues.
Well, you work in IT or something, don't you?
Yes.
So you've got a better understanding of what they go through.
Well, I will say this. I work in, doing on the business, let's call them business applications.
Yep.
My title is data architect, so I deal a lot with very huge, massive, big picture things. And the gaming world is very different from that. I've tried to pick up these tools, and I think I'm a fairly smart guy, and I still look at these things, and I'm just like aghast. I'm like, what the hell is this? How am I supposed to use this tool? So I think they are a bunch of very bright people who are doing those things.
Yep.
I would like to think that they would suffer the same, confusion coming to my world, but I'm not so sure. But yeah, so I do have at least a bit of insight about the process of making something when it comes to software. I've been doing that for a very long time, and there's a lot of work into it, especially when you have a lot of eyes on you.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of critical eyes too. So that's something that can be incredibly disheartening to probably to anyone in any field. But to sit back and look at some of the things that they've had to endure, and it's not even the current development team because it's changed so much. But the things they've had to endure in terms of the critical nature of responses to changes that have been made, it's like, wow. As a software developer, I would have quit my job. I don't think I could have handled it. I am not strong enough. so props to them, or maybe they just weren't reading it because they knew to stay away from it. I have no clue. But
well, this sort of segues onto the next topic, Rocket's thoughts on Tumblr. Now, yeah, because I'm a big believer yourself, mate. I think these guys have gotten a lot of hate, which they haven't deserved. Miss Fu sent me a link to a post from Rocket from back in March 2015 on Tumblr. That was, my God, eye-opening. I'd long suspected for some time that Rocket had mixed emotions about DayZ, and this pretty much confirmed it. That it's a long read. I'm not going to read it all. If people want to, they can go and read it themselves. But I genuinely, reading this, you just want to find the guy and give him a fucking hug and say, "Man, we love what you did. Ignore the fucking haters." It was so sad to read. Did either of you get a chance to read it?
I skimmed it. I didn't really read much of it.
I have not, but judging from what you're saying, I have an idea of the things it says. It's
Yeah.
probably responses to the things we've seen over the years.
Yep. Basically, he said that in the end he became a burden to DayZ. His ideas are radical. I have no interest in half measures. I do not want to make safe games. I do not want to make games the way we've been making them. I want to fail as often as I need to in order to deliver the kind of games that I actually want to play. And he's right, But he's the inspiration for the server I'm making at the moment. And I've named it after him. It's called Dean's Beans, because I've said this story so many times and I'm never going to stop saying it. There's a quote from him that I live by, and that was that I want DayZ to be this game where when you find a can of beans, you're like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And that's how I'm making my server. There is, I'm finding a few cans of food here and there, and I'm just storing them because they're the only food I've got on the server that's not going to go moldy. I pretty much live off of hunting and fishing and farming. And when I do find canned food, I'm keeping that for a rainy day in case I do run out of food.
We still talking about a video game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But that's the way I love, and I'm kind of personally I'm kind of happy because Adam seems to be taking DayZ back to Rocket's initial vision. Gently, baby steps, but yeah, just in little bits here and there, Marks.
Yeah, seems that way. The survival aspects of it are a bit nicer, right, for sure. But yeah, I mean, everybody has their own kind of way of playing DayZ, don't they, as well? Like,
yes,
some prefer the more survival way, and some prefer just running to try to run and gun. So DayZ has service for everyone, and you can do what you want with.
What server do you play on mostly, Ike?
Oh, I bounce around quite a bit.
Yep.
Yeah,
it depends on how much I've had to drink. If I've got a good buzz going, I'll end up on one of the highly modded servers, just wondering, curious what it's like. Over the weekend, Marks and I, along with Mike, had a brief conversation, and I jumped on while I was talking to them a new server. Well, I don't know how new it is actually. It's a medieval server.
Yes.
I jumped on that yesterday.
Did you tried it out? Yeah. So it needs some work. We're not gonna can't beat around that bush. It needs some work, that's for sure. But it's such a different idea that that just demonstrates the creativity that's in the community, I think. So there's a lot of servers. I will say that my preference is I always lean towards the more vanilla experience. In fact, you guys probably don't know this because no one plays on them, but I have 5 or 6 servers of my own because I have my own hardware and it costs me nothing to run the servers. So I can spin them up whenever I need to. And I always try to do a new map. So I'm always looking for new maps. So I do spend some time on my own servers, even if they're empty and it's just me or a couple of friends. I don't care, just to see the new landscapes because I do love the different maps.
It's interesting you say that, Ike, because my server is pretty much a ghost town as well. Like mine is quite heavily modded, but all of my mods are designed to basically make it harder. Food is fucking rare. We've got some mods on there that you have to sleep, you have to strip off at a well and wash your body, or otherwise you end up red hygiene and you end up with flies and it'll attract infected easier. Just everything to make it a more hardcore survival experience. But I don't care if I'm the only person on there. Yes, I still go and play other servers. Day one, I've been dabbling in that just to, because, I do crave a bit of interaction. But at the end of the day, if there's 1 or fucking 100 people on the server, I don't care. I'll play if the server is set up the way I like it. So hats off to you, mate. Much respect.
Yeah, I don't care about running around on an empty server. I enjoy the loot up process, and if I happen to encounter another player, that's great.
Yeah.
Whether they shoot me or befriend me, whichever.
Yep.
So,
are you a bit of a bandit yourself?
I have been, but I'm not a very good one. Usually, it's just nonsense for comics.
You need to go watch, if you haven't heard of him, a guy called Danny Boy, for how to be a fun bandit. That guy, I take my hat off to him. He is like the gold standard. He befriends people and then basically backstabs them, but he does it in a way that they will remember for the rest of their life. All these people who run around in PvP, the kills that you get on people, unless they just found, a gorse gun or a foul with fucking 4 mags and that, they're probably not going to remember it. But if you betray someone in a way, they're going to remember that. You're going to be living rent-free in their head for the rest of their life. They will never forget the day this psycho fucking murdered them while they were cooking at a campfire or something like that. Try to be a bit inventive. Give people memories that last is what I reckon, Ike.
You know that Danny Boy is just me doing RP, right?
You've got a killer British accent, mate.
Hello.
But yeah, no, he's brilliant. You've heard of Danny Boy, have you?
Yes.
I love him. His channel should be so much bigger, but he hasn't uploaded in quite some time. So we all know how the algorithm hurts you when you're not uploading regularly.
I personally, I don't, but okay. I don't do any video stuff at all, so I have no clue. I just go out and I'm one of those lurkers who just goes out and enjoys the stuff that other people from their labor.
Speaking of YouTube, I've been very surprised by something. Smoke. Now, pretty much everyone would agree that he's the king of DayZ for streaming right now. The views he gets are insane. He'll stream, and by the time he's even started talking, he'll have over 1,000 people watching him. And by a couple of hours into his stream, he'll have 4,000 plus people watching him play DayZ. Other than a few of the massive names on Twitch and that who stream and dabble in DayZ. But for a dedicated DayZ streamer, there's no one bigger than him. Yeah, absolutely him, then TRMZ, in that order, yeah. But what surprises me is the lack of traction Smoke gets on his YouTube channel. Now, he uploaded a video on February 14th, 2021, and he's only got 13,000 views. Is it just people don't know that he's on YouTube, or?
I think it's more that he's a highlight channel more than like anything
well,
else.
No, this isn't a... sorry, this one is. But he uploads some decent stories as well, but yeah, and he's only got 47,000 subscribers. It is so weird to me.
Did he explode on Twitch? Like, was he always popular on Twitch and then met the channel? Like, did he start on Twitch?
Yes.
YouTube, or did he start on YouTube?
Started on Twitch.
Oh yeah, he was definitely. I used to be in his channel when it was. I mean, when we were down to 2,000 players a night across the entire game.
Yeah.
Right.
And
that's probably why his channel is lower then, because most of his audience just sticks to Twitch. I would assume anyway. That's why.
Yeah, it's probably there's probably a lot of reasons, but it's always just surprised me. I would have thought he would have been. I mean, I get it. Then again, he's got 89,000, but you put Shroud in the title of anything, and you're going to get views. But 40,000 views on this one, and 32,000 views on another video. It always surprises me how little traction he has managed to get on YouTube, because the guy is just insane. And he plays in such a unique style as well. He's semi-role play and very interaction focused, but can PvP like a beast. Yeah.
He also has a lot of Escape from Tarkov stuff instead of, he's not
Yes.
just all DayZ. So that might be another reason as well.
Do you think Escape from Tarkov would be to his benefit, though? There's YouTube channels out there that are blowing up with footage of that game. And the guy's so big, he's even got his own item in Escape from Tarkov now as well.
Oh, does he? I didn't realize he had his own thing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's huge in the Escape from Tarkov community. Not that he's been playing it lately. He's mostly been focused on DayZ, but yeah, absolutely huge. But you should dabble in it, mate. Just, I like, one of the things I like about having done YouTube is I've got these permanent reminders of things. Every now and then I'll go back and watch my old videos just to remember what DayZ was like back in the day. And
that's one of the biggest regrets I'll ever do is I would have had old DayZ videos from back then. I would have even had some old Minecraft and I deleted them all. Biggest regret I've ever done. So if you ever think of making a YouTube channel, never delete your stuff. Just keep it on private or something like that.
Yeah.
You'll regret it down the road.
And if you're worried about storage, you can get it incredibly inexpensively at an archive level on services like AWS, that's Amazon Web Services, or Azure, for fractions of cents per terabyte. Oh yeah, but there are some stipulations about how you can retrieve it, meaning that you have to warm it up to retrieve it. But that type of stuff, if you are worried about losing content, that's a good option to have.
You should tweet some of that stuff out, mate, because I've got I've kept every video I've ever made. I've still got the original copy of it on my computer, and it's starting to get to the point now where it's hundreds of gigabytes of storage, and yeah, I've got to look at somewhere to. I deal
with hundreds of terabytes, and yeah, you can still, it's still really inexpensive to push stuff up to cloud services. So yeah, we could talk offline about the details about that, but you'd be very surprised about how inexpensive it is.
Chamber Senator is saying there, it's a shame we lost so much amazing footage of the DayZ Arma 2 mod when Amazon bought Twitch and wiped all the VODs from the site. I didn't know that had happened. That is sad. That is really sad.
No, that either.
Wow. I don't think I was streaming back then. I think I only started streaming once Amazon already owned it, but yeah. What have we got next? We've got this was a cool mod. Frozen Corpses mod. Have you guys seen this one?
No, I haven't actually.
I have not.
So basically, it allows bodies to freeze. So perfect for Namols or any of the winter maps. And this project's goal is to give a realistic feeling of the environment enclosing around the dead, intended for more immersion in cold service, primarily using the Namols Island and Namols survival mods. This mod adds frost and snow to dead players after they would normally decay. A dead body freezes depending on the surrounding temperature and will be covered in snow depending on the location. Once a body is frozen, it can no longer be looted or skinned. This is done for loot balance and realism reasons. I'd love.
Is that carbonite?
Kind of. No, I do the Star Wars joke. It's a Star Wars. Yeah. But I love it. I think this is a great mod for immersion.
Yeah, that is a cool mod, actually. Yeah.
How come you've never got into modding with your background, Ike?
Like I was explaining, it's very different. It's a very different approach to writing software. So I have tried and I've fiddled, but to be honest, time is also of value. So
yep,
I can only do so many things. And over the last this past year, we're rolling out a new application at my job, and I was working 6 or 7 days a week. I sometimes leave and come home at 3 or 4 in the morning. So it's just, there's not enough time to sit down and learn it all. I'm incredibly lazy. I'd rather just get drunk and play video games in my free time.
So I just got to do a quick audio check. How's my volume now in comparison to the others, Tyson?
To me, you sound just as annoying as ever.
You know me too well, mate. But no, Tyson was just saying in chat that he thinks I'm a bit louder than you two. So just, all good. Okay, let's drop my volume down a bit. It was at maximum because audio is the fucking killer for me. I've got to work something out for the show. It's every video someone comments that either someone's too loud or too quiet, and because I'm using the VOD because my computer's not good enough to record at the same time, I can't divert the tracks into separate audio files. But yeah, that stuff's all way above my fucking pay grade. It's a miracle I'm able to turn on a PC, let alone do a podcast about DayZ. Chamber Senator saying, I like the idea of frozen corpses, but I think not being able to loot them at all is going a bit too far. Maybe if it was just the clothing that was blocked, but the item inside could be taken, I'd love it. And I do agree there. It's like, okay, the clothing, but a backpack on them, you could probably still get, roll the corpse over and get into their webbing in their backpack. And
how about if you could still loot it, but everything in the back, not just including food, but say there was a gun in there, everything was like frozen. Because if the character's frozen, you know, it could freeze whatever, and you put it next to a fire and thaw it out and stuff, and it becomes a bit damaged or something like that.
See, that's next level thinking right there.
Yeah.
That
I
would
just
kind of,
I just love that people are coming up with all these amazing mods.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very, very cool.
Ike, thank you so much. You just reminded me that I hadn't turned off notifications for the stream. I just had a whole pile of gunshots. Just you might have seen me cringe a little bit. I was like, "What the fuck? Where did that come from?"
Someone's invading my house.
No, mate, I'm in Australia. You wouldn't have a weapon that can fire that quickly here. Yeah, no, I just think it's brilliant. The modding community are fucking amazing. The likes of Inclement and Jacob and Dumpgra and God knows who else. You know, they're all out there. Just absolutely blow my mind. They blow my mind with the work they do behind the scenes. Just improving on this base game. And like we've said a million times, no matter how you like to play DayZ, there is a server for you.
Yeah.
We are now on to the Green Country map. Now, I am a fan of the Hell Retex, Hell Survival mods. I think they add a lot to DayZ. But the guys behind it, Hellmaker and Scalp, they're actually making a a map as well. And it blew me away. It kind of reminds me a bit of get down.
Is it not very like Rust? That's what I kind of thought when I first saw it. I was like, oh, it looks kind of very similar to Rosto, but I know it's still very work in progress as well.
Yeah,
so that might change.
Bit of a video vibe to it as well. There's a lot of forest.
Yeah.
Tiny map, but great fun and intimate for PvP and all. It's 10 by 10, so it is smaller, but he's done an amazing job on it. The main reason I wanted to raid was so that people aware that there is a map. And personally,
you're lagging really, really badly.
Okay, I was about to ask if it was just me. Okay.
Yeah, no, you're.
I'll turn that off. Obviously, my internet can't handle that stream going. But I'll put a link to the video in chat for those who want to check it out. But it's absolutely amazing what they're doing with all these different maps that are coming out and just giving people more options on how to play DayZ. That's
only thing I wish. Sorry. Ahead,
no, you go ahead, mate.
The only thing I wish that it's kind of that there isn't more assets in the game, like different assets, you know, different buildings stuff. Because it's cool going out to these maps, but when all the buildings are the exact same and everything like that, after a while it gets a bit bland, I guess, kind of be a word for it. Just
That was
It'd be
one of
cool
the
if there was
things that made
more
me happiest
building
about
assets out there.
Livonia, Ike, was new building models.
Yeah.
What do you think of forest maps, Ike, being a bit of a survivalist?
Oh, I love them. I like encountering small towns. I grew up in 6 miles outside at the end of a dirt road that was half a mile away from the closest paved road on farmland. So I'm very familiar with, forest,
Yep.
and it's where I grew up, and it's what I'm comfortable with. The urban areas are kind of big and scary. So I like the big sprawl, or I like the large open fields and things like that, and
So I'm guessing you play
forest.
Livonia a lot?
Yeah, I like Livonia a lot. In fact, when Livonia was first released, I spent about $1,100 or $1,200 giving it away to people.
Wow.
Um, because I had committed to doing that, so I did that. I thought it was that big of a deal, and
Yep.
it was a lot of fun. Still is a lot of fun, and I do have a Livonia map. And yeah, Livonia is very green, and I love it.
I'm the
I don't
same.
know it nearly as well as I would like to, but
Well, this segues beautifully onto the next topic, which is Minder and Dancer Jesus actually did some mods to Livonia. Now, I won't open the video up, but I did go and watch it. And he actually raises a very good point in the video that he raises two very good points in there. That a lot of people complain about Livonia. I don't, because I'm the same as you, Ike. I love heading south and getting lost in those forests and, waiting for a bear, even though I'm sad bears got nerfed. They just seem to die easier now than they used to.
hey, boo boo.
Yeah, what do you know, boo boo? But the map, the land area is almost as big as the land area of Chernerus. But what reduces it in people's minds is that so much of the map is just forest and plains, not sprawling, from every couple of kilometres there's another town on Chernerus. So, yeah, I like that they're playing with Livonia. I've added a few locations to my map as well, but mine have more been just a couple of tiny locations. I'm thinking of adding some more because what I ultimately think they should do, Ike, is have some more hidden little bunkers and things like that in those forests. So it's not just complete and utter woodlands. There is the chance you'll stumble across a little bunker in the middle of nowhere.
As long as it makes sense.
Yes.
It can't be that you have to like glitch into a rock and just so you can find
Yeah.
a ladder that goes down. It can't be to that point. So
Beautifully hidden
that's the
ones,
only thing I
like
would.
little secret bunkers that are blend into the map, and you've got to come from the right angle, or you might just walk right past it. Things like that is what I would love to see.
It'd be cool if there was like an underground system when you went into those bunkers that was only like a research center or something underground, or I know something just spice it up a bit. Because I'm one of those people that does not like Livonia. I just think it's too empty, personally. But
Whereas I love the emptiness. I love being able to
yeah,
just get lost.
I
Do you
hate it.
prefer you prefer the cities?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
City
just
boy, huh?
just something about it. I just can't. I don't know. I just don't like it. It's too empty.
Look, I like them both. I mean, I've said before on the show, I would love to see a city map, one that has sprawling skyscrapers and stuff like that. I don't think it's doable under current technology limits, but I would love to see one just, more like you were talking about earlier, like Atlanta, the Walking Dead style, because I think that's got its own unique vibe as well. Where you're looting vertically and fighting vertically as opposed to the generally horizontal fights that you have in DayZ.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's actually a very cool idea.
Yeah.
but I don't
But
think it can
I'm
be
thinking
done.
I'm thinking if you make a map that's like 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer, it just goes up.
Yes.
Possibly you can. and that's all it is, maybe you could still do it. I don't know.
I think it'd be a
But
great novelty.
that would actually be that would be fun to try for sure.
Yeah.
There are a lot of close quarter stuff.
Yeah.
In my mind, what I've talked about this before. What I envisaged was a remake of New York. Now, apparently, there is an Arma 2 mod for it because New York, you've got
Arma 3.
Central Park. So you still get that big forest area in there where you could have some. I think there's a zoo in Central Park as well, so you could maybe have some wild animals in there, and that could be the source of maybe, I don't know whether you could add it. Again, I don't understand this stuff, but yeah, just something to break up the Russian landscape, and that's why I'm excited for maps like Essica and Deer Isle and Green
Wait,
Country.
I'm sorry. Did you say Essica?
Yes.
Yes.
Which one is Essica?
A lot
There
of
was an Arma 3 mod as well. Flooded City. One that had the Flooded City.
Oh,
It's being remade for DayZ at the moment.
Yep, they're working on it. I've got a plan to get one of the guys on the show when they're ready to show it off better. But they've released some videos on it, and it looks fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing.
sweet.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to add some more RAM to my servers then to keep adding. I'm gonna have like 50 servers that no one's playing on running at any one time.
Give us a link. What are your servers? What are they called? In case people want to check them out.
Every single one of them starts with Ike Dies.
Okay. There you go,
Just
folks.
look for Ike Dies at the end is the most popular name, but Ike Dies at the end and it'll have the map name. But also I think I had one that I just took down called Ike Dies Installing Mods. And I was attempting to install as many mods as possible to get working together. And I just gave up. It was just way too much work to get them all working together. So
real pain.
Yeah, props to the guys who are running those servers and make them all work together. They've put in the time to do it. That may not be my preferred style of playing, but the fact that they got them working and running, I was like, wow, good for them.
Moonshine.
So all of mine are just as basic as possible.
Yeah. Moonshine saying he would love to make one of West Virginia because it's almost heaven.
Oh my God. That Bob Dylan was full of shit, man. For any Dumb and Dumber fans out there.
Was it at Denver?
Yeah,
Denver?
But it's still the same.
Yeah. I love Dumb and Dumber. I didn't like Dumb and Dumber 2. Some movies you wish they make a sequel to, and then they make it and you go, yeah, maybe they should have just left it at 1.
They recorded that down the street from me.
Really?
Yeah, the second one with Jim Carrey was in Marietta.
Yep.
Which is just down the street from me. I go to Marietta all the time.
Yep. Oh, I'm just doing a search. Ike Dies. Did I type it in right? Ikeddies?
Yeah, 2 words.
Not all together?
Yep, 2 words. IKE space DIES.
There we go. We'll let that search in the background. Hopefully it doesn't destroy my internet connection, but yeah. Moonshine saying the only problem is it wouldn't be a hardcore map because every house would have guns. Oh, America, you love your guns. Okay. Brimstone wasn't able to record a segment for this week, sadly. So finally, though, Wobo is back to his dirty old best with his tips for 1.11 video. I actually tweeted him. I actually tweeted him on Twitter and said, "Yeah, I've got to register the community's disgust, mate. Ike will be back in a second. But the lack of sexual innuendo in your videos is disgusting." And he replied with, "The first sentence of the new video should appease you all." And he didn't disappoint. He didn't disappoint, did he, there, Marks?
No, it was a very good video. Very good. Funny as well. Like
I find I don't really pay that much attention to the actual tips. I'm just sitting there listening for the sexual innuendo jokes.
Yeah, they are good. He does his tips videos very, very well.
He does.
Yeah, they're funny and informative at the same time. It's
very funny and informative. Yeah. He's a god. I love the guy. Absolutely fucking love him. And just a reminder, folks, he does have a Patreon. So please go in and check that out. I think I've got a command set up for it. Please, God, let me be right. No, I don't, because I'm a noob. I need to set that up to help support him with all the work he does behind the scenes for the benefit of us, the community. He's a good bloke. Another champion of DayZ who I've got a lot of respect and time for.
Yeah, just good videos, very good ones.
Now, we had a bit of a discussion in the podcast Discord. Syntax, an Aussie guy I know, for such an anticipated feature, base building is very underwhelming. As with many things, mods have saved this feature, but there isn't a guaranteed fix. Many servers, in my experience, struggle to find the balance of raiding and base building, whereas games like Rust seem to have perfected a brutal yet fair way to both own a base and loot, while providing opportunities to raid equivalent targets. And overwhelmingly, everyone agreed with him. You know, Zombie Lee, who's in chat, agreed with it. Foxy, another guy I've got a lot of respect for, agreed. DayZ bases are awful. The whole system, from the farming for it to the building of it. Mass bases suck, and I've got to agree. Especially having been dabbling in Scum a bit lately. Bases in Scum are fucking awesome, absolutely phenomenal. Building them, upgrading them, foundations for them. It's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And unless you mod the fuck out of it, they're so easy to still break into.
I think it's between 6 and 7 grenades to get through a fence, and it takes what? Like, how long does it take to throw a grenade? 4 or 5 seconds each, something like that.
Oh, you could just do that cooking pot thing as well, where you just stick one in a cooking pot.
Or you could do that.
Yeah,
it's even faster. So yeah, it's very unbalanced. I don't know if they have something down the road for it, because do you remember that vanilla base plus mod that I made a video on a while ago, and that had, I think it took features from the actual game files of base building and they put it into a mod, but it got claimed or taken down straight away. So I don't know, because that got taken down, are they anticipating on doing a base building update in the future or in the near future? That could be a thing, because a lot of people really like that, and I think, you know, having that in there and tweaking it's maybe they don't use grades, or maybe there's a special heli or not sledgehammer there, or something that you can find that only heli crashes or something like that would balance it out, or something like that might work. But yeah, this base building, vanilla base building needs a lot of work anyway.
Sure. It does, and particularly when there are some games that seem to be getting it right, like Rust, for example. Yeah, definitely need to look at it. And yes, Layout is Murder. Definitely look at getting it on, mate. Not everyone needs to be a big name person to come on the podcast. People who love the game are always welcome. You know, 99% of the community probably have no idea who Ike is. They should know who you are, mate, but they probably don't. No, he's still not back yet. But yeah. Okay. The DayZ. Oh, now this.
No, I heard that.
Oh, you did.
So 99% don't. Can you feel the heartbreak coming through the microphone? To the other side of the world. I try to do good things, help people. It's not about who I am or who knows me, as long as you folks are happy.
We are very happy with you, mate. But it's the same. There's so many people in the DayZ community who need to be known. Like, one of my pet peeves is I think the real superheroes of DayZ are not the streamers and the YouTube creators, not the people like me and Mark's doing the videos like this, the modders. And I think the modders deserve to be celebrated more. You know, what upsets me the most, Ike, is, you know, all the money from the community seems to go to content creators. I genuinely are concerned that how many people are actually donating to the modders who are doing all this
Yeah,
work.
I've thought this exact same thing, and I think that the modders should charge at minimum of $1 to download their mods. Let the market decide whether or not it's worth it, and then allow people to donate beyond that.
Yeah.
So, but I'm a believer, but that they need to be, there needs to be something. They need to receive something for their work, their time and effort that goes into it.
Sadly, I think that comes down to Steam. Steam would need to put a system in place to allow that to happen. But I'm with you. I know it's not a popular opinion, but I am with you 110%, mate. Whether it be, we've talked about this before on the podcast, Ike, and suggestions we had was either the servers pay for the right to use the mod, which is what I kind of lean towards, because the servers, the communities often get funding from the community members who help pay for it, and they subscribe to it, because the reason I like it is it provides a source of revenue for it rewards those modders to be more professional with their work. Now, I've had people say, no, modding is a hobby and all the rest of it, but I don't know. If you want to do it for free, you can still do it for free, but I think there should be a system that enables them to be remunerated for what they do.
Now, one of the problems I do see with the servers paying it is the servers then have to come out of pocket, because, and what they may end up doing is possibly, I don't know what BI's policy is now, but I know it used to be that you cannot charge for access to content. So is that still their policy, their monetization, or is that just there's no monetization policy now?
It's more that you can't just pay money to go and buy items in game, is the way I understand it, because you've got at the moment mods being made custom for servers, and the only way you get to play it is by playing on that server. So people are making custom stuff and keeping it to themselves, which is their right to do. I'm not a fan of that. I'm a big believer in, you know, sharing everything in the community. But
no matter what idea you come up with, it's not going to be a popular idea because it involves money coming out of people's pockets.
Yep.
And there's a ton of mods. So I guess I should retract my statement now, thinking about that, that, you know, there are some servers where they're always populated, 100 players, stuff like that. They may not be servers I play on, but thank God we have those out there that people are playing on. So if they were to charge $1 per, that would greatly inhibit a lot of people from being able to play on those servers. So I got to rethink my idea now. But I do know that everyone is carrying around a phone nowadays, and a lot of people I know, they don't think twice about paying 99 cents for something they're going to spend 15 minutes playing and never doing it again.
Yeah. Yep.
If it was that cheap, yes, but like just as long as there's, you know, the way like the custom helicopters out there, they go into the hundreds of dollars. Like,
Maybe
that's crazy, but if it was like $1 or something like that,
that's actually good. Yeah, I actually like that idea. That maybe a one-off fee of you pay $1 for access to it, and you know then you're talking about some of these mods have got tens of thousands of stuff behind them, and as you said, Ike, I'm a big believer in the market will decide. If a few people go in and get it and say, sorry guys, this is a shit mod, don't bother using it. I actually, now you've kind of made me think again. I lean towards that idea. it encourages
We're a bunch
better
of
quality
creative
of mod.
people.
Yeah.
We're a bunch of creative people. We'll come up with some idea, but I want to believe that these people are doing it out of the goodness of their hearts,
Yeah.
and they feel rewarded by the simple fact that people are using them. And if that's their compensation, there needs to be some way of knowing that. Maybe we could give to a charity on their behalf or something like that instead of directly to them, if that's the way they want to handle it. But I see a lot of people spending a lot of time developing these things and come up with incredible content. Like, I'm a Patreon for Dear Isle,
Mm-hmm.
and I would encourage other people to do the same, because it's a ton of work that went into that. And as other maps mature, I'll be doing the same thing likely for them as well.
See, the thing is, Zombie Lee's saying in chat, Patreon could fix this. Just drop a few quid in their Patreon. But people have got to sign up to the Patreons. Patreon's hard. We've got one. The most I've had is 3 people. We're currently sitting on 2. Thank you very much, Josh Snow and Scalespeeder. But people just don't do it. They subscribe to my channel. So that may be why some aren't doing it. But for these mods, unless it's like you have to, most people won't bother. Most people will just take the free stuff and run.
It needs to be easy, like a one-click thing,
Yeah.
Because I don't think when people go and they like click on the Patreon and they realize I have to sign up to all this stuff, they just go off it because they just couldn't be arsed with it. But if it was something like click a button and it just subscribes to it, and you have your account linked to it or something like that, like Twitch, for example.
Yep.
That could possibly work.
I don't know. Like you said, I think that's something. To be honest, I'm surprised Steam doesn't look at it, because it's another source of revenue for them. Because they're going to take their cut, their 30%, and then maybe another 30% goes to the developers of the game, and that leaves 40% for the creator of the mod. That's the way the system works. I don't really have an issue with it. That's just the way it is. Maybe the percentages should be slightly better for the creator of the mod, but yeah.
I will say this, as I've worked on projects before where it was a project of passion, and what happens with me with every one of these, and I've seen it with all of my friends too, is that you'll spend a lot of time up front because you're incredibly excited about it. You're putting a lot of time and a lot of effort into it, and you're making substantial progress, but then your interest wanes over time. And I think that's human nature.
Yeah.
That's what happens with a lot of us. So for these guys to continue to continue supporting the things that they put out, they started, a year, 2 years ago. That goes beyond what I was doing. It becomes a business at that point.
Yes.
And it's something that requires some sort of reimbursement, I think, for their
money is a
time
great
that's in the-
motivator.
And there's nothing wrong with money.
No.
I'm someone who talks about money all the time, and I'm okay with that, because I think it is it's a currency, but there are other types of currencies too that aren't necessarily tangible. And whatever theirs is, maybe they need to tell us. Maybe they haven't discovered or decided what it is yet. A lot of these guys are younger guys from what I've seen. So they just maybe haven't been exposed to the bigger world of of all this, the big mean place of the market, things like that. So there's a lot of opportunity for them there, and I think they should be rewarded for it. So
yeah,
that's
Tyson's raised a great point in chat, Marks. Most people don't even know there's a workshop. Most people just use DayZ standalone launcher and click play. So you go to most mods. Like if I go to one, oh shit, where am I? Thing, DayZ workshop. Whenever you're ready, computer. Most people aren't even going to this page. They're just using their launcher, and then it tells them what they need to get, but without actually clicking on a mod. Like, okay, I've got Hell right here. I'm pretty sure Hell doesn't have it, but usually if they're open to people donating, Hell does these purely out of the goodness of his heart. But somewhere in here is usually a link to a PayPal or a Patreon or something like that. But if people aren't actually going in here, they're never going to see that. So just relying on goodwill isn't going to work.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, there'd have to be like some option in the launch or something. Like if you were going to install a mod and it wasn't paid on, it would come up with like a notification or something saying, "Hey, look, you gotta, I don't
So
know,
this
subscribe to this paid mod or something like that." You know.
this brings up something that's another one of my hobbies. I spent years as a musician, and that was one of my hobbies. And not very good at it, but I had a lot of fun with it. But one of the things I had to learn very early on is to get over that awkward moment of self-promotion. So
Mhm.
maybe they haven't encountered that point yet. They haven't reached that point where they need to do that. But I remember going into bars and asking to speak to the owner or to the manager and saying, "Hey, here's me," and giving them. You kids wouldn't know what a CD is nowadays, but we had them back then. And I would give them a disc and let them listen to it. And I had some that just kind of cringed and they were like, "No, thanks." But you had to go out there and you had to market yourself. And maybe there needs to be some push for people to do that as well.
I just saw all my ping to all of your servers, mate, 300 plus. Ouch. Gotta love Australia's location.
I'm
But
hoping
yeah.
to visit soon.
Oh, really? Where are
So-
you going to be going to?
No, I'm saying I'm hoping to visit soon. The thing is, once all this pandemic calms down, I'll start traveling again. But
Well, if you end up in Brisbane, mate, you've got to send me a message and we will stop and have a beer.
yeah, I have to go to the UK first. So
What do you want to go there for? Fucking
it's
tiny.
closer.
It's tiny.
But you know what? You make a good point. It's also cold. So maybe I'll change my plans. But you got them big ass spiders. I fucking hate spiders.
I'm the same, mate. I'm the same. I literally, I can't do spiders. My missus kills all the spiders in our house. I scream like a, yeah, I carry on. I don't know why. Snakes I can handle. Crocodiles I've got a hell of a healthy respect for. Sharks, I've swam with one at SeaWorld. Big bull shark. But spiders, I just, I can't do them.
Yeah.
Spiders, centipedes, and millipedes. Fuck no. So many legs. Nothing should have that many legs.
Agreed.
There we go. OG just brought something back up, getting back to the main point. I do remember a while ago there was someone looking at implementing a pay wall for modding. It was Bethesda, apparently. No one wanted Skyrim modding, etc., to be behind a paywall. Even the modders making big money from Skyrim mods disagree with it. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's very, very crazy.
Yeah, so I guess I'm coming from it from a perspective where I think they should be rewarded. If the people who are actually doing the work themselves, they have a entirely different perspective, then that that trivializes what my thoughts are entirely, because I'm not the one putting the thought in. All I'm doing is I think I'm doing a good thing, but if I'm not, then I need to be shot down.
I'm with you, mate. I think we need to work out a way to better support the modders. Yeah, I've even said publicly before, I think certain big streamers should publicly tout donating to the various modders, the reputable ones. I'm not talking about the shitheads who are out there stealing stuff from people and then uploading it. But I'm talking about the likes of your Mass, your Inclement Dab, Sumrak. A lot of people donated to him with the mods, which was fucking awesome to see. And he was very public with showing how much he received. But there needs to be more people talking about this. I've got 26 people watching me. How many have you got watching you right now, Marks?
43.
43. So that's less than 100 fucking people. And probably the views on the videos.
0.
Are you streaming?
No.
Oh, well, of course you got 0, you numpsy. But yeah, you just they need to be talking about it more. You know, screenshot it on Twitter. Just donated $20 to Base Building Plus or whatever. They're doing a great job, and I want to encourage them. If you've got a few dollars spare, please consider doing that. But I worry that a lot of them won't, because that might be money out of their pocket.
Maybe you know the way I do the mod showcase videos. Maybe because I always usually link the mod, but maybe what I should do now as well is link the mod, and if they have a PayPal or whatever,
Definitely, mate.
link that as well.
When I did
I've never thought of
my
that, but
the
maybe
mole
that's
sneak
what we
peek video, at the end of it, I put a link to Namol's to Sumrak's website and his Patreon, his PayPal link, and encourage people to donate. I don't know whether anyone did, but I thought it was the least I could fucking do. And I as you saw, because he gave me that video that I had,
Yeah.
and I had my official version of it, which had my watermark on it and shit like that. But what I did was I put a copy of it on YouTube, which I think I sent to you, the one which didn't have the watermark logo on it and that, because I wanted people to, be able to say to him, and please make sure you link to his PayPal. That was the only reason I did that, because I just didn't want every man and his dog fucking using it without him getting anything back for it. So that's why I did that.
Yeah, I might do that because a lot of the mod videos I do get 10, 20,000 views. Like, so at least it's there. So if people do want to donate to it or a fan of it, then they can do easily.
Chamber said it just raised a good point as well about my suggesting that servers pay for it. As a guy with a DayZ server, if I had to pay for every mod I wanted to test or try for my server, or if someone requested a certain mod collection for an event recording reservation, I don't think I could afford to keep the server going. That's a good point. A lot of people, do it as a hobby, but they don't have buku dollars lying around. So, yeah, maybe it is better.
Oh, man. I hate to bring this. Oh, I hate to bring this up. I really do. But we do have a lot of modding that's happening with custom items.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a market for skins.
Yes.
Do you think that would work somehow in DayZ? God, forgive me for bringing it up.
We had this on show, like, was it last week or something? I spoke to Clement Daone on Twitter, and he said it was possible, but the only thing that was possible was the inventory system you'd have to make for the game. And if it was, say, a certain piece of a certain skin that was linked to a certain server or something like that, that'd be the most complicated part. Doing the skins and stuff wouldn't be that difficult. I was thinking of the way it'd be cool to link with Twitch or something like that. The way Tarkov had drops, but you do DayZ drops, but it's just cosmetic skins. Yeah, it'd be a bit complicated to do apparently, but
I have a great idea for a mod to help raise money. Putting ads in game.
No. Oh no.
Yes, think about it.
Immersion breaking.
Come on, when you see a commercial for a Ford, come on, the next Ford truck or something, or a Tesla.
My immersion, no.
Tesla.
No.
Tesla.
Oh,
maybe you could put the ad up on one of the big billboards or something like that. Huh?
Or the loading screen is a big ad.
Yeah.
Get in.
Or just in game, replace the liquor ads, right? This down on the coast.
Oh yeah.
Put a big Tesla ad up on it. People tried ads.
God.
Next thing you saw on Workshop was a mod removing the ad.
Yeah. Ad block. What a DayZ mod.
I could handle maybe if they were done in the right sort of skywriting. Oh fuck! A plane flies across and fucking puts an ad in the air. Gator, billboards for Ridge Wallet and World of Warships, and don't forget the big one. What's the fuck? Raid Shadow
Raid
Legends.
Shadow Legends.
Oh, you know what I would do is I would go on all the servers that I don't like, and I would buy ads on all of their fucking billboards to point to my server.
It'd be a great use for the PA systems in the cities. Just blast ads every 20
There you
minutes or
go.
something like that.
If
And
they
there's
were
radios too.
if they were tastefully done, and in the right art form, and that I could handle it. It could even be quite novel if they were done well.
I just want to back up, make sure everyone understands it's a joke.
Oh, I'm glad. I didn't think you were joking. I honestly didn't. I thought you were serious.
No, I'm entirely joking.
Okay.
All right. I just want to make sure everyone understands
that joke went right over my head, mate. I was like, oh God, no.
You are pretty short.
I am not. I'm 6'4".
Oh, fuck. If I jump 2 inches, I'll be taller than you.
Gator, I do think that some video games do sell advertising. It's not so much ad space, but certain product placements. It's like in the movies. For certain items appearing in certain games, the companies are paying them to have their drinks or their car and stuff like that. It's a bit of a funny market because video games have still got that negative connotation associated with them. But yeah. Oh man, there's actually an idea there that people could do advertising on their server. Like I could actually see, because you can reskin the ads, the billboards and stuff like that. I could actually see a smart server going to someone and saying, for $100 a month, we'll put an ad for you've got to design the ad. It needs to be in the right sort of frame. But for those who didn't care about the immersion, they could put some billboards up around the place, and
work on those just all PvP servers, the ones that don't focus on survival as much.
Yeah,
it'll work well on those ones.
Oh, look at maybe the V++ deathmatch servers. Some billboards everywhere advertising shit.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. Even servers could maybe go and advertise their server on the V++ deathmatch servers.
Yeah.
OG11 saying it's too easy to do that. I could jump into Discord with you and develop your billboard model within 5 minutes. There you go, OG11. Maybe that's an idea. You could maybe earn some coin that way, buddy. Make some billboard models. Have them ready to go. DayZ Survivor Games brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Oh my God, Ike, you've started something. All from a joke. Ike's gone again?
Is he? Yeah, I guess.
Okay. So we are now on to the the stuff that's been happening in the last couple of days. This DayZ Clips channel.
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, Marks?
Well, right. So the bigger DayZ Clips channel, I think it's DayZ Highlights it was called. Running Man's, remember you posted a picture in the Discord, Running Man's commented on one of his videos. That's the only one I knew of. That one I think is kind of one of the bigger ones out there. And that guy, I'm guessing it was a guy, joined my Discord and was posting his video. I have a self-promotion tab and he's posting his videos in there. But what he would do is he would delete the videos and repost them maybe 2-3 times a day. And you'll obviously notice that he was reposting them because you get them like little notification. And so I warned him twice, I think, about it. And I got DM'd. He DM'd me and he came off very aggressive, saying like, "Oh, all you big YouTubers never help out the other one, smaller ones, and all this stuff, and you're all the same and all this crap." And I was like, "I don't. You're stealing people's content. You shouldn't be doing it in the first place." And he kept doing it, so I banned him. He also done it in another Discord that I know of as well, and he was also banned from that as well. He shouldn't do it, at least without asking permission anyway. Like taking people's content like that, just literally combining them together and then just uploading them. He's not making any money from it yet, but he could come to a stage where it happened. he shouldn't be able to monetize that. It's not his content. You definitely should ask. And if people, like when Running Man said, I don't want your stuff in my videos, and he said then the DayZ Highest channel said, I know my rights. He clearly doesn't, because he's not allowed to re-upload people's stuff. You could claim him. I'm guessing if you've done enough claims from enough big DayZ YouTubers, you could probably get the channel terminated if it was bad enough. But yeah, he shouldn't be doing that. It's a shitty thing to do.
I did these videos myself back probably over a year ago, I think. And what I had was this. I had a list of people who I had sought permission from. And I used to also crawl through the DayZ clips. And basically, if I saw a clip that I thought was good, I'd reach out to that person. And I kept track of it. Well, like this. Just I had contacted someone who had said yes.
Can you share that?
Give me a second. Your audio is cracking up.
Yours, yeah, it is a little bit.
I think it's yours, Boydie.
It was just an Excel spreadsheet. Green.
All right, so here's the nerd side of me. Are you using the desktop version of Excel?
Yes.
Yeah. You might save a little processing power if you switch to using the, as long as it's not a very complicated spreadsheet, you can use the Office 365 version, and it takes a lot less processing power.
Okay. I'll have to have a chat with you later. But yeah, so you can see here I've got Ariana, and I kept her name in red because she said no. I asked her; she's obviously not a fan of people using her stuff. So, and I kept the name on there. I would track who I had used because I was my whole premise for doing it was trying to get more people looking at DayZ. They were monetized videos, but that was because I had artwork created and stuff like that, because I'm not good enough to do that stuff myself. And OG11, I will send you my shit if you want to use the same stuff, mate. You can just take the whole thing. I'm done with it. But I've got here Soviet Womble. He said yes, but he asked me to go easy. So you can see I've used him once. I wouldn't abuse it. And I tried to keep track of who I used and where, so I wasn't going overboard on people and mixing it up, as well as a bit of a, your choice, a choice of smaller people, as well as not just spamming the big guys all the time. And if someone, revoked their permission, then I acknowledged that. I was fine with that. Okay, if you don't want me to use it anymore, fine.
So
that's yes. Go ahead, Alex.
Sorry, that was a spreadsheet of the people you had asked to use their content?
Yeah. Yep.
Can you go back to that spreadsheet and can you press Control F and search for IKE_D?
No, it's alphabetized. I don't think I used one of your clips, did I?
Okay. You've never asked. Just a joke. It's just a joke. Calm down.
You're making me feel like a big meanie now. But yeah, so
I have content worth sharing. That's the whole point.
I did. If I go to YouTube, I did 6 episodes or maybe 7, and I enjoyed doing it. But they were surprisingly a lot of work. I believe there is a need for something like this for DayZ. But this guy, do you know much about it, Mike?
No.
This guy's a fucking jerk. To put it bluntly, he is a fucking jerk.
I went to I never watched any of the videos. I only saw the thumbnails of his videos, and that was it. So I don't know. It's someone who Maybe he's doing it. It may not be just restricted to DayZ. He may be doing this for, every other gaming channel you can imagine too. Who knows?
Possibly. Well, like going around asking creators for it, and if they say yes, that's perfect fine. I had somebody ask, could they use one of my videos in one of their videos before, and they were like, I'll link your videos. I was like, yeah, go ahead, just on who you ask for permission, that's fine. But just doing it and then arguing with a content creator when they ask you to remove a clip, that's when it gets like, okay, And when you were saying, buddy, about promoting the game, what if DayZ have their own YouTube channel? What about they'd have to probably hire someone to do it, like video editor or something? But what about if they got permission from all the streamers and uploaded
Well,
it to
see,
their
that's
actual
it.
channel or something
You've
like that?
touched on a good point there, and I'm hoping your higher level knowledge or someone in chat maybe might be able to correct us on this. I'm hoping Chamber Senator's still around. If there's something about DayZ, he'll know. But technically, now the Running Man was adamant that he owns the copyright, but someone actually made a comment that no, Bohemia owned the copyright on all DayZ content. They just allow us to stream their game.
Yeah, just to be clear, I don't know any legal stuff. I know technical things. I would know how to move stuff around when it comes to bits, but
Yep.
when it comes to the legal questions, I can guide you in the wrong direction if that's what you're looking for.
Oh, mate, you just made me think of something. I love your tweets when you have stuff like that. I am not a financial advisor, but I say invest in XYZ and stuff like that. I love those tweets, by the way, mate. Please don't stop doing them.
I haven't been on Twitter in 2 years.
What? Rubbish.
That's another joke. I was on there like 30 minutes ago.
Mate, I'm old. I've got grey. I forget shit. I'm sitting there thinking, what the fuck did I have for breakfast this morning? And now you're telling me you haven't been on Twitter in 2 years? You're making me question what I believe and what I don't. I'm easy to mess with, mate. I'm easy to mess with. But someone said there, I thought Twitch owned it. Basically, from what I understand, look at what happened with PewDiePie and what was that fire game? The survivally sort of one where you're in the fire observer's tower, and they revoked their permission for him to use their content, and he had to remove all of his videos. He made that game as big as it was by him doing a series on it, but because they didn't like his off-color humor, they said, we don't want you. I can't remember what the game was called, but yeah, ultimately, my understanding is that all of video game footage is owned by the video game that made it, and they just let us use it, to give us permission to be able to do it. Look at the amount of trouble that people have posting Nintendo games. Unless you're part of the Nintendo Creators Club or whatever it is, they will copyright strike everyone. The ETF?
Or EFT, I'm sorry. EFT issue is about a year ago.
Escape from Tarkov? What was that?
Yeah. So someone was also basically the developers, I guess, didn't like what he was saying about the game, and they just issued a ton of copyright claims against him.
Yep.
And
yes.
He was not from what I recall, he was not a huge channel, as in millions of viewers, but he was a well-known channel.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but this gets into legal stuff. Like I'm saying, if you want me to argue the wrong way, I'm here all day.
But ultimately, I think what you should do, OG11, is maybe first email the dev team. Just because I didn't even think of that at the time. I never emailed them just to get permission. But I still think, for the sake of ethics and just being a stand-up person, you need to ask the permission of them. And like when I did my videos, the other issue I had with this guy's videos is, let me see if I can bring him up again.
I will point out this, and while you're doing that, people don't read the details. Whenever you're signing something, You gotta read the details. I know they're boring. God, I know they're boring. But you gotta read the details because of stuff like this to see what you're getting into.
Is this channel gone or something? I thought I subscribed to him just to see what it is.
It shouldn't be, unless it got claimed and taken down.
Wait, are you looking for my channel?
I'm not going to believe a fucking word you say to me from now on.
Hang on, I can. Where is?
But here's another one: top Twitch clips, a compilation of the most viewed DayZ Twitch clips of July 2020. DayZ highlights. Someone saying it's called
July
DayZ highlights,
2020. That was like 7 years ago.
Okay, this is it. This is the channel. Best, the first one. Now, I reckon he bought views as well. Now, look at this. That's all he puts up. Now, everyone obviously knows who this guy is. This is Shroud. But that's all he puts up. In the top left corner, in the smallest font possible, their name appears and then disappears very, very quickly. Not acceptable. Not acceptable.
No. And maybe streamers would have been alright with it if he went around and asked and stuff, but the way he's after responding to the Running Mans now, I think he's kind of after digging his own grave now, and I don't think many people would be very happy with him. With like this guy uploading their content and such. I know I wouldn't. Like if he ever does, I'll be claiming it straight away.
When
I'm just offended that he has not uploaded my content. Fuck this guy.
He hasn't done mine either.
See now,
What an asshole!
This is my one, and watch what I do for the beginning. For myself, I didn't do it. Oh no, there we go.
Get it in your chat.
Molly?
I would get. I would download.
Now you messing with my people.
But I would do their logo. Okay, that must be an older one. Why is this one not there we go. I would have the logo spin in with little sound effects, so you could see who it was. Yeah, I think it just needs to be more than a simple little pop-up of a name in the corner. But it ended up being, it was too much work. They weren't getting a lot of views and didn't get a lot of feedback on them, so I just thought, fuck it, I'm not going to bother anymore. And that's about the time I started the podcast.
I have an idea, but it's quite technical and complicated.
Go for it.
It involves taking a sample of all of the viewers in chat at some point in time and stamping a QR code onto the video. Now, as long as they don't crop it out, you're okay. But what you do is at that point in time, you know who all the viewers are at that point in time. And that QR code, you can look at it again and know to come back and know exactly at that point in time who are all the viewers were in chat at that time. And if you keep doing that, you're going to keep finding and who that person is. The problem is QR codes are fucking ugly. So you have to, but you can also, there are also ways of, oh, this gets into cryptography now, where you are embedding information into an image. However, it's incredibly difficult to do it into a moving image. If it's a static picture, you can do it pretty easily. You can embed single pixels become pieces of information if you know where exactly to look for those pieces of information. In fact, it was done back even in the 19th century to communicate things. So, all right, sorry. I'm having ideas.
The only way to kind of counter this, which isn't the best way to do it, but it's just to kind of watermark everything. I think is it Shroud? He has a watermark now in his clips and such as well and stuff like that.
Yeah, watermarks are a good start to it.
Yeah.
What I'm suggesting is something beyond the watermark. The watermark tells you where it came from. The watermark doesn't give you any context to it at all. You would have to do, there was more involved beyond just the image at that point in time, where you have to do a lot more. But
Miss Fu saying that she's got hers set to, you've got to be following her for 3 months to clip, but that still doesn't stop someone doing this. Now, I may crackle up here. Give me a second. This is how I used to find my clips. So just give me a second.
There's also like no reason why you couldn't just like you see a DayZ Clips episode on YouTube, just re-download that DayZ Clips, edit some stuff out, and then re-upload it to your own again. It's quite easy to just get clips.
So all you got to do is click on DayZ, and it will take you to the DayZ page, and then go clips. And this is where I would find some of the people's clips that I hadn't heard of, but you see what the top clips are, and then you go through and you watch those clips, and then to download it, it's literally as simple as you clip on the clip, get the link, and I had this, post it in, get download link, right click, save link as. And that's all it takes to get it. That's all it takes to get someone's clip in a downloadable format that you can then use in a video yourself. It is, the hardest part was sitting there going through this section of all the clips to find the ones you wanted to watch.
Is there a copyright system on Twitch?
Yes, there is now, but that's mainly around music.
Right, yeah, it's something around music, yeah. So at least on YouTube, like if somebody was using your clips, you can just claim the video.
Mm-hmm.
So there are services that's entirely what they do. Is look for those violations, and it's based around some things that I will say as a musician, I'm fascinated by them. I really am. As a musician and someone who's been writing software since he was 8 years old, it's fucking fascinating how they do it. And I would like to find ways to beat it. Not so that people could continue using music that others have, worked to make, but just from the technical stance, because it's actually pretty fascinating how it all works. And I've read a lot of articles about it, and they're doing a good fucking job. I have to say that, but with fingerprinted music, and it's not as simple as you would think it is. Like I was just suggesting, putting a bit here and there and looking for that bit. You can even look for music that has been expanded out to slow it down and things like that. As long as you know the wavelengths it makes, as well as the height of waveforms. You're looking
getting smart
for
with it.
this. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Oh, calm down. I started geeking out there.
But no, they're getting smart with it. The scammers will always work shit out. Like I know some of them just reverse the image if it's a video, so that it doesn't look the same and doesn't get picked up by that. I remember there was that young guy who on Twitch streamed an entire UFC match by sitting there holding a controller in his hand.
Yes,
Playing the game.
that guy.
Yeah.
There was another guy who also he streamed one of the boxing matches
Yep.
with by the reflection in his glasses.
Wow.
Did you ever see
I
that
saw
one?
No,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, he's and people were complaining because he was moving his head too much
Wow.
during the match. That's like you guys remember reflecto porn?
No.
You don't remember reflecto porn?
Nope.
Look up all right, reflecto porn.
I'm not going to do that on stream.
Yeah, you can. It's actually not as bad as it sounds. It's more about like eBay. It's more like eBay type stuff, and it's so funny. Reflecto porn is so funny.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. But yeah, it's OG11. Please do it, mate. I have no doubt you'll do it respectfully, mate. And if you want to use my artwork, you're welcome to. Or else, you're a skilled guy. You'll probably just create your own. But yeah, if you've got any questions about it, mate, hit me up. But so, yeah, just I disagree. The Running Man doesn't feel that there's a need for it, but I do, because if someone can get the formula right, hit the algorithm right, pump out a video a day so that it starts being rewarded by YouTube, it could bring a whole new evidence or a whole new audience of people to DayZ when they see just how crazy shit can be in this game by comparison to almost anything else out there.
It's something to keep in mind as well that I'm sorry to break in, but there's a psychological part of this too, is that there are a lot of other services now that are offering, even YouTube themselves are offering short videos to try to compete with like TikTok.
Yeah.
Right. So if you could take a format like that as a means of advertising, then there's nothing wrong with using that format as long as you're getting the content legitimately.
I'm just being told by everyone in chat that can confirm, do not Google reflective porn. Yes, don't Google it on stream. I tried to get me back with hurting his feelings earlier.
I still think, though, DayZ, DayZ's channel could do it itself. Hire an editor, get permission from all the creators, even if I don't know if they need to or not, but be great promotion for them, and either they monetize it.
I don't think DayZ should do it themselves, because I think, like everything DayZ does, it would be turned around on them. People would find a reason to hate on them because they didn't include XYZ clip or something like that. I think it's better off someone else does it who can shoulder the hatred from the community.
Just as long as they get permission, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it should be monetized, though. I don't know about the monetization.
Look, costs go into it, mate. And if for someone it would take me a good couple of hours to put those videos together. The editing was more complex and I'm only a basic editor. If someone does a really good job with proper animated intros of each person who's being featured, then yeah, I've got no issue with someone being rewarded a few bucks for what they do. You could almost say, then do you monetize your videos that you do on mods?
Yes.
Same sort of thing. You're playing with someone else's creation. Someone doing
in that way, it's more of a promotion because I'm showcasing the mod and then I'm leaving the link down and then people are going to,
and that's sort of what OG11 and sort of what I did as well. Mine was a promotion of DayZ. I was trying to get the word out about this is the sort of shit. Like, I had very few PvP clips in my videos. Mine were all mainly random weird encounters that I wanted people to see that there's more to DayZ than just, it's not a COD clips highlight video of epic kills and all the rest of it. Sure, I had some epic kills in there, but it was more about the funny things that could occur in the DayZ world. So mine were promoting DayZ and promoting. I had these little segments that would pop up in the video, something that I added to them. that I can show you. I'll have to share my screen again somehow. But if I go to my DayZ Plays order, Dickie the Champ made these for me. So I had a disclaimer. All clips have been used with permission from the relevant content creators. Links or channels can be found in the description below. Then there was
Wait, was that at yours
this would come up in mine. This would come mine.
Okay.
Want to be featured via Twitter, Discord, or Facebook? Links can be found in the descriptions below. It's little sets I had made. That's another one.
But technically, you don't have to make them. Putting a text up on screen that says the exact same thing would do.
Please consider going in and supporting these amazing streamers who take the time to provide us with quality entertainment on their channels. Was another one that I had. I did mine in sort of a spotlight thing because the spotlight interviews were all the rage at the time for me. This one just want to be featured again.
Out of curiosity, because I don't know anything about creation of YouTube, but is it okay for you to link? I know you have, the click this image or click this for this next video, things like that. Is it okay for you to add one of those to link to someone else's channel?
You could do that. Yeah, you can.
So yeah, I was thinking there would be no problem with that.
At like the end of a YouTube video, usually you can have cards, so you can have like subscribe and then previous video or whatnot. You can add another subscribe setting, so subscribe to your channel, and then I don't know. Well, like if you're featuring one streamer in it or something, you could have their channel, YouTube channel or whatever.
But it would link to a completely different channel, ones that you've used their clip from, is what I mean.
Yeah.
And okay.
But for multiple people, I think you can only do one other or something like that.
Because I had very few people actually submit clips. Very few people did. The majority of it was me spending time going in and looking. And obviously I was picking people who I liked as well. As much as
You never asked me.
Like, I love you, bro. Could you stop picking on me? I love how he just says it and then leaves that awkward silence there for me to keep and digging a hole for myself. This guy's read too many psychology books. Guarantee it. Yeah, but no. Fuck you. There definitely is a need for someone to do it well in the community, in my opinion. But yeah. Yes, Ike does need a hug, everyone. Everyone give Ike a big group hug. Come here, Ike. Oh, you're not hugging, Marks. You're not hugging. Reach out and hug him through the internet, Marks.
Coronavirus pandemic, can't be hugging.
Oh, yeah, good point. Good point. Okay. Another bit of drama we had was all the Spaggy servers disappeared. They're apparently all back up now. And they've all been renamed. He doesn't have the content creators on there anymore because he had one for Toprek, he had one for the Running Man, he had another one as well, I think. He had the Village, barely infected the Village, but that went a while ago, which was a fucking tragedy because that was an awesome server, even if my ping was near 400. But yeah, but apparently it's been done due to issues for the content creators primarily.
I will say this, watching Running Man's, I heard him so many times in his stream complain about people who came into his stream. And when I say him complaining, I think it was legitimate. He was just tired of dealing with it. People coming into his stream and complaining about server issues in his stream. And I think he actually tweeted about that today. And
yeah, he did.
I don't know how you deal with that because his name was on it, and
Yeah.
uh, it made sense that people would look for him, but why people would, I don't know how you deal with that. Just bunch of
You can,
noobs, I
it kind
guess.
of comes down to a bit of you can't have your cake and eat it too. But at the same time, he was always very clear that he had nothing to
It
do
was
with the administration of the server.
Yeah, he was always very clear and very good about. I mean, he would have to state that so many times. So maybe this has happened, to across the field. I don't know Spaggy uh, well at all. He and I have exchanged a few messages, and that's it. Um, but who knows what's going on over there? But I think Spaggy's a good person, and I don't think anything malicious or bad, or there's no bad blood going on here. I think it's more strategic
But this
to
sort
some
of comes
degree.
down to like you're mentioning about it had the Running Man's name on it. Now look at the backlash celebrities get when they attach their name to a product that, and I'm not saying these servers have been found to be less than desirable, but when there's issues, people will still speak to that celebrity, even though they only did an advertisement. And let's face it, having the Running Man's or Toprek's name on a server, that's an advertisement for the server. That's them
Yeah.
endorsing the server. So as much as it must have been frustrating, what did they expect was going to happen? Of course, people were going to go in there. The same thing like we talked about earlier, that when you join a server, when you download a mod, most people just click the link and the mod automatically downloads. They don't go and read. They don't know who made the mod. They don't know with a Discord for the mod to lodge complaints about it. They complain when there's a problem with a mod to the server administrator of
Well,
that mod or to
so,
people they meet in game. They don't go looking for the actual mod developer to complain to. The more smarter people do look into it, but well, not the smarter people, but the people with more know-how about how it all works do. But the average person is just going to complain to the first person that they can associate with it. And when they're playing on the Running Man server and they see the Running Man is streaming, they're going to go
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Well, maybe this also speaks to the growth of the player base, and also the how young. When I say young, I don't mean like actual age, but when I say young, but inexperienced are the players, because probably there are tons of new players. We just hit, what was it, 45 or 46,000?
Yeah, something like
What
that.
was it,
Close to
a
50,
month
I
ago?
think. Yeah.
Yeah, a month ago, the highest player count, right? So there's a ton of new players. I mean, that's a lot of fucking players coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be
The
it could be naivety, and that's all it is. It's not people trying to be malicious or trying to troll or anything like that. It's just that people just don't know simply how to act when they go into channels and things like that.
See, Spaggy's another person though who's a bit like you, Ike, in that there's a lot of people out there who have no idea who the fuck Spaggy is, or Wayward Jack, the guy who helps him as well. They've got no idea who they are. So I'm going to be very interested to see how these servers go now without the big names attached to them.
they might have their dedicated player base around, but there's so many servers out there now, and with obviously, like you said, their name's not on it. It's going to be, will that player base slowly dwindle? Will it stay the
And
same?
what's gonna stop someone from just creating, like you see with the day one servers, where there's unofficial day one servers? What's going to stop someone
Mm.
from creating the Running Man server to get all the people playing that instead?
Oh
That'll
yeah,
probably
there's
happen.
yeah. Oh man, I actually could spin up servers with all of their names on them tonight.
Yeah.
And it would cost me $0, and I don't know, it would be a shitty thing to do. So if it happens, you know who to come looking for. But I'm not gonna do that, obviously. Um, but man, there is something to be said about attaching a name to
A product.
these servers.
Mm.
Yeah, and I don't, what? Looking now back at your list, the agenda. Is there a Wobo server?
I don't know.
I
I think Wobo does have a server that he uses for testing, but I don't think there's an actual Wobo server.
But what would a Wobo server be? You know? And so there's the idea, I guess, of what would a Wobo server be? And I don't know. And what would a Spaggy server be? Because they've always put, the content creator names on the servers. But is it their idea of playing, or is it the content creators' ideas of playing?
Well, they just using the names to promote their own service, kind of thing.
But let's face it, a lot of the
and
people who go play
that's-
those servers are playing in the hopes of running into the person whose name is on that server.
Yeah.
And there's no problem, as long as that's all legit, there's nothing wrong with that, I don't think.
Yeah, the same reason why so many people are playing Day One now. They all want to run into Smoke or Lax Hawthorne or whoever else is playing on it. Shroud.
Still haven't played those servers.
So because it is zero cost to me to spin up a new server. If I were to spin up a new server with a name, suggest one that would I guess make people connect to the server simply based upon the name alone. What would it be?
The two big one, mate. Smoke and Running Man. You put their name on anything associated with DayZ, and
I can't do that. I like both of those guys too much. I can't do that. That would be like a violation of trust with them.
Shroud.
Probably any big content creator. But Shroud doesn't. Maybe you could do Shroud if he was streaming the game at the time, but I don't know if it would really work.
Call it if you're thinking of doing this as an experiment. What I would do is I would reach out to Smoke first on this one and explain to him your reasoning behind doing it. But call it Day One Shroud's House or something like that.
Yeah.
Call it Day Two, so you don't get a copyright claim.
No, you won't get a copyright claim. Yeah, it doesn't trademark.
I'm a nerd. I would call it Day Pie.
Day Pie. Ooh.
I also love pie. Oh.
I love meat pies. I'm an Aussie.
Oh man, I love pies. So, just a side note: if you ever decide to do a show about pies, invite me, please.
Have you had a meat pie?
Yes.
And what did you think of a meat pie?
I fucking love it, dude.
Really? Okay.
Who doesn't love a fucking meat pie?
Have you had a meat pie with mushy peas?
With mash and peas? Yes.
There you go. You are a legend.
Why would anyone not like that?
It's called a pie floater, as DayZ Daily Press has just wrote in chat. A pie floater.
I don't know about a pie floater, but
yeah, basically you get this little styrofoam container and it's got mushy peas all at the bottom of it. They plonk the pie in. They plonk a big heap of mashed potato on it, another big heap of mushy peas, and then pour gravy all over it. And it is a
yes.
It is a meal to die for. There was a pie shop up in Townsville that used to do them for me, and oh my fucking god, it was about $5.50 or $6. And I am now going to go out and try and find myself a mushy pea and pie, because I am fucking starving as well. Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh, absolutely delicious meal. We digress. So yeah, I wish the best of luck to Spaggy. No, that pie shop wasn't on the Strand DayZ Daily Press. It was Phelan's Pies. They were in Kerwin area. They also had a pie shop in Ayr. But yeah, the meal box they called it, but it was fucking awesome. But yeah, all the best to Spaggy. I wish him the best with the servers and the rename of them. As they said, the tweet he shared on Twitter shows that the numbers are still there, so they're unchanged in pop. So good luck to him. Content creator shout out. Content creator shout out this week is a new segment we're going to be doing, and it has to go to Reverend. Have a look at that getup. How fucking cool is that? He's got the dress on. He's got the fucking helmet on. That is just, I'm blown away by the man's commitment to his stream. What would you do that, Marks?
No, not at all. Not at all. That's fair play to him for doing it. I wouldn't do it.
Absolute legend. Absolute fucking legend. So if you want to check him out, I'll get a link to his channel, twitch.tv, Reverend816 with the first E being a 3. Growing fast. He's found his little niche. And that's what people need to do. You need to find something that separates you from everyone else. For me, it's talking. I'm never going to be a gameplay guru. I play too slow and a hardcore style. It's boring to watch. But for those who play a more normal style, I wasn't following either. Yet I knew of him, and when I rated him, it was like, what the fuck? I'm not following. Hit that follow button. And yes, he's in the Twitchapedia as well with Uncle Ray. The best stream team. I have to say that because Uncle Ray's a legend. Just as good as Aussie Survivalists as well. I can't forget Diddy's Aussie Survivalists. But yeah, no, very, very happy for him. Very, very happy for him. Now, the artwork creator spotlight this week is my man, Evan Travis. This guy is a fucking god, folks. Every single person I have sent him to has given me feedback on how good he is. Check him out if you want some custom artwork done. The overlay for the podcast that myself and you're using as well, aren't you, Marks?
Yep. Was
designed by him. The animation of the DayZ podcast logo was done by him that you can see on this. He's fucking amazing. Please definitely check him out. You can get in contact with him via his Twitter link. Please, please, please consider using him. His rates are good. He also did, I'm going to show something else that he made for me. Where is it? I wanted to do something nice for Dumpgra. Dumpgra's been really, really good to me. Done a lot of work helping me understand stuff and that. And I had that logo that he had made for his server done for an animation of it, just to, as a way of saying thank you for being such a good friend. Friends do nice things for each other, folks. So, yeah, that was just my way of saying thank you. I paid Evan to do that, and he's quick. He's fucking quick. But I don't know. What did you guys think of that?
It's cool.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
DayZ Daily Press in chat, 100% confirm that Evan Travis is a great artist and great prices, great communication, and he's done my pressure point logo on loading screen. Yeah.
So, I'll probably be getting him to redo my channel logos and stuff in a couple of months here now. So.
OG11, you'll have to send us some stuff through, mate, and we'll maybe showcase you next week on what you do. But yeah, awesome. Okay, DayZ Twitter Watch. I didn't actually get anything from DayZ Twitter Watch. Did they put out any good tweets this week, Marks, that you saw?
I don't think so. No, I think it was all kind of quiet, very quiet this week.
It was.
It was mainly update stuff they were just tweeting about.
Yeah.
I don't know any fixes or anything like that. But that was kind of it.
So a bit of a slow week from them. I like it when they do the funny stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, informative stuff is ultimately what it's all about. And there you go, folks. There's a new Twitter account twitter.com, highlights DayZ. We'll follow that as well. Mark's moving to Twitch. Are you moving to Twitch, mate?
No, not at all.
Well,
right here.
Yeah, I actually saw something. Apparently, they've added 2 features that were really needed. You can now raid, and you can also clip YouTube streams.
Yes and no. Only you can raid, but I think you have to set up your raid beforehand. It's kind of weird how they do it. I don't like. I'm looking at it here now. I don't see like there isn't a button where you can just kind of raid and go.
Mm-hmm.
I could be using it wrong. I'm not sure. And the clips one, your chat can't clip. I think it's only you can clip. So
Zombie Lee's just put an in joke. If you're in the DayZ podcast, in the channel there, he said we need to do a spotlight on Chuck the Bear. He had such a short life, poor old Chuck. But we do need to. We might talk about Chuck the Bear next week. I think that's got to be a good topic. That was a that was a good chat. Spotlight for you this week, Marks. What was your highlight?
Well, speaking of Chuck, I have to give it to the troll DayZ account.
Yes.
The one that's run by Inclement. It's just it's brilliant. I'll link it in your chat. And with the Chuck the Bear one, and they're just constantly coming out with funny quotes. And it's funny when we read through the comments and people take it seriously and think it's the actual DayZ account, and they just complain in the comment section to a troll tweet. It's brilliant.
This is the one here. I just saw a bear driving down Push Oscar, like, what the fuck? Chuck, you're in so much trouble if you don't come back to headquarters right now. And then we'll talk about it now. It evolved from there. They said that they used all the 10-cent budget to buy a bear for the office. And it was an amazing conversation.
I said that comment. And
that's right, you did,
might have pushed it a bit too far.
No, you didn't tag anyone.
It was I had to do it. It's too good not to.
I got to retweet that one because that was good. And then the M249.
Yeah, 249. But I'd say that's funny.
But yeah, definitely. Just a reminder, folks, we do have a Discord. Link will be in the description of the video. If you type in !podcast in chat, should bring a link up to the Discord as well. Definitely worth being in because it's starting to grow now, and it's funny. It's funny. Come on, we'll check it. What are people saying? Someone falling for it.
Yeah.
Someone else falling for it. They just, yeah.
And another one down below.
Delete this account. Is that the truck? No, it's a gun. I love it. I love it. Yeah, you could say it's a bit too familiar, but yeah. I don't know. I think it's plus the DayZ EXP makes people think maybe experimental. But yeah. Ike, what about you, mate? If you're back, have you got a highlight of the week?
I don't have a highlight of the week. I have a highlight of my DayZ career, and it's this moment. This moment right here, where I get to say thank you guys for inviting me onto this podcast to talk about a video game that I love. I really do.
Mate,
I know it's just a video game, but still.
No, it's I'm the same as you, mate. This is more than a video game to me. DayZ has become the disdain of my missus, but DayZ is more than just a video game. This community means so much to me, and I get the feeling it's the same for you too.
It is. One of my best friends, IRL, and he still is. He's still a huge nerd, and I still love him, but he's still a huge fucking nerd. God. But when it comes to playing DayZ, man, He's the person who got me into DayZ, and I still love the guy. And I met so many good people through DayZ, and I've actually traveled and met people I've met through DayZ, and I'm planning to pick that up again. So I don't think my face has circulated out there yet. I'm trying to prevent that as long as I can, just simply for the fun of it.
Yep.
But yeah, so I'll get out there. I'll get out there one day. But
Now,
yeah,
I
thank you guys
will
so
say
much.
as well, people, if you paid attention, at one point during this clip, Ike's camera did come on. So if you go back and watch the video over and over and over and over again, you might actually see the point where his face was revealed. No, I'm just fucking with you.
This
He
is
didn't
true.
do that. He didn't do that.
No, it actually did happen. It really did. It really did.
Did I? Am I lying, or is Ike telling the truth? Watch back and see if you can find it out.
No, but thank you guys so much. It's incredibly kind of you to invite me on. It really
Nah,
is.
man,
Thank you so much.
people like you, just as, if not more important than the big name guys in this community, mate. It's
Tell them
the
that.
stuff you do.
Tell them that.
I do. I'm doing that right now.
Make sure they fucking know that. I'm just kidding.
Give me 1 second. Switch accounts.
There you go. Yeah, go tell. Oh yeah, get in there deep. Oh man, there you go. Bring it up deep, yo. Oh, swing it old school style, like we used to do with the bows back in 6.2, yo.
Ike is the most important man in the DayZ community. Fight me.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
I told them.
I'm a terrible fighter, by the way, so I'm out of this fight. So good luck with that fight.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But thank you for agreeing to come on, mate. You do a lot behind the scenes that people don't know about, and you know, little things like your Tolga Hill charity climb. I can't wait for you to do another version of that. And one of the things about you that made my day was back when we did the DayZ Awards. May they rest in peace until I revive them again at the end of this year and hopefully do them better. But was how chuffed you were when you saw your name in there as one of the category nominations. That really confirmed a lot of what I thought about you.
Yeah, that makes me feel good. But I want to take, since we're on the way out here, I want to encourage people to please be kind to each other. Take the Bill and Ted approach to life.
Be excellent to each other.
To each other.
Yep. Salute. Definitely got a big
way
salute
to
from
do
me
that.
on that.
Come on.
Yeah. Yep.
A lot of negativity around now.
Exactly. Too much negativity. Focus on stuff that makes you happy. It's why I don't understand DayZ haters. Why do you hang around? Why do you hang? If you don't like it, just move on.
Yeah.
Just move
I had
on.
to in the stream that today. Going, oh, this game sucks.
Yeah.
They're always around. You always see them.
Do good shit. Play DayZ. Make charity donations. Be a good egg. Yep. And fly cars. Guys, thank you so much. Mark's a pleasure as always, mate. How do you feel now in episode 2 of the podcast? Feel a bit more relaxed now? You definitely came across more relaxed, mate. Last week was a bit daunting for you with the whole process that we have, and I kind of flowed from thing to thing, but you're starting to get the vibe of it, and I'm looking forward to the future with you, buddy.
Yeah. Another good show.
Nah, Ike, you're always welcome, mate. And if you're ever watching, we have a policy around here, mate. We never remove our guests from the role. We've had some very funny moments in the past where guests have just jumped in surprise. Inclement Dab and Gravity Wolf seem to be the main two that do it. But yeah, you're welcome back anytime to join the conversation if there's something we're talking about that you really, really feel you have an opinion on. Next week's guest, sorry?
Pie.
Not buy yet. Don't say buy yet. We do that after I announce who the next week's guest is. Oh my God. Have you even watched a
No,
podcast
I said
before?
pie.
Oh, pie. Oh, there you go. I'm old and I've got bad hearing. I'm excused. But yeah. Next week's guest, ladies and gentlemen, is in chat. We have the one, the only Helkiana coming on. Helkiana is another unsung hero of the DayZ community who has some of the best mods out there as well. Her Much Stuff pack is fucking amazing. Amazing pack. Used by so many servers. And then she's got her Igloo mod, which she made for DayZ for the Namols map, which is absolutely fucking brilliant. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting Helkiana on. Helkiana, it's the same time as normal. It'll be UTC 8 p.m. in London time, isn't it, Marks?
8 p.m. Yeah. London
Yeah,
time.
8 p.m. Ike, thank you so much for the gift subs you've given in the channel as well. Thank you to anyone else who did it as well. I try not to break the rhythm of the podcast by acknowledging them, but I do appreciate them nonetheless. But yeah, thank you all so much, and we will see you next week for episode 49 of the Survivor FM, the DayZ podcast. No, not sleepy time. I have a son's birthday tomorrow. I had my missus's on Sunday. And my son's is on the 24th, so I've got to go do some last-minute shopping for present for him. So wish me luck, folks. I don't like shopping centres at the best of time, and having to spend a day in them, yeah, good luck to me. All the best, Ike. Say goodbye to everyone.
All right, thanks so much.
Bye-bye, and buy some pie. Marks?
See you all again. See you next week.
Goodbye,
Have a
everybody.
great show.
Ciao for now.
My heart